WQAD News 8, this is WQAD This Week.
Good morning, it's August 14th, and thank you for joining us for News 8 This Week. I'm John Diaz. There is some good news for veterans. The latest jobs report shows the unemployment rate for veterans is 2.7%. That's half of what it was last year, but the transition from military service can still be a challenge. This morning, we're sharing one veteran's story of transition to civilian life and details of an upcoming employment event geared towards serving those who serve their country.
We fired an AGM-176 Griffin missile.
Shane Sawyer was an airman through and through.
I performed aircraft maintenance for the first half of my career.
Then he wanted to start flying.
I have flown combat missions in and out of Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and various parts of Africa.
After 20 years in the service, it's who he was.
We were chomping at the bits to go and get in the fight.
But like all good things, as they say, his military career ending when he retired in 2019.
You don't fully understand how hard it's going to be.
The first mission ahead, getting his bearings.
I say that when you leave the military, you lose your tribe, you lose your sense of purpose, and you lose your identity. And for me, the identity crisis was real.
And so were his skills. The problem,
it's hard to translate that military experience because there's jargon and there's acronyms.
It wasn't long before he landed at IowaWORKS, serving as a veteran career planner.
I found purpose in people.
Now the former sergeant taking lessons from his transition to help fellow veterans.
We're workforce development. We're a networking tool.
With practical resources.
Truly, everything that made you successful in the military, some of the values that were instilled upon you in the military, all of that is a part of who you are. You didn't change who you are just because you took off the uniform.
And words of encouragement. And joining us now to talk about the upcoming Quad Cities Success Fair is Heather Dieters, a Veterans Employment Representative with IowaWORKS. Heather, good morning, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the unique position that veterans are in when they return from their military service. They often come back, I imagine, with some valuable skills, but they also need some support when they return.
Yeah, you're right. When they come back and they start their transition into the civilian world, really all they know is the military terms. They could have a whole bag of skills and things like that, but what they know is how to say it in military terms. So it's important for us, for the veteran team here at IowaWORKS, to help them translate those military terms into civilian lingo, which is why we're here. And so it's very important that the community understands, that there is that barrier from going from military to civilian.
Now, the Quad City Success Fair now in its 6th year, how is it set up differently to address those things that you just talked about?
So this year we have over 8 within the Quad Cities. So the first one is the Rock Island Arsenal Success Fair, which has already happened. And then there's the Iowa Quad Cities Success Fair. And then there's the Illinois Quad Cities Fall Success Fair. So all 3 of them are focused on veterans. And the employers work with Home Base Iowa, which is a program for transitioning service members and veterans and their spouses. And we just come together and we help the veterans find the employment that they're looking for.
And what should veterans be prepared for? If they want to stop by, do they need to bring anything? Do they need to sort of begin to think about things in a certain way?
I think the biggest thing is, they can stop by IowaWORKS and have one of us take a look at their resume. But regardless, bring several resumes, be prepared for an on-site interview. Just be prepared to ask those questions to look for that job or that next career that you're looking for.
And something important that we talked about was the fact that this really is open to anyone who is looking to find new employment, change jobs. What can folks, let's say they're not in the military or not veterans necessarily, what can they expect? Who can they expect to talk to and see?
We are going to have several staff members from IowaWORKS there at the Success Fair. Anybody, like I said, there's going to be over 80 employers there that are very eager to find quality employees. Again, just like the veterans, bring in some resumes. You can stop in and see us, and we'll help you work on your resume before Tuesday. And we can work on interview skills. Be prepared for on-site interviews. It's just going to be great, and you can take all the time you need there and talk to employers. If you see an employer but you're not sure what they do or what they offer, what positions they have available, go and talk to them. That's why they're there. That's why we're there, to help you out. So like I said, just bring some resumes and be prepared for an on-site interview.
And now that you guys have done this for several years, what are some of the successes that you've had from hosting this type of event?
It's really great when we have veterans or not veterans, anybody really, walk out and say, I have an interview in 2 days. And then you follow up with them and they got the job. So, I mean, it's a success story every day when your customers come out of there and they have a new motivation, and they're ready to start something new. And so that's exciting to me.
All right, Heather Dieters, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck on the event.
Thank you so much.
And if you're interested in attending this event or know someone who might be, here's what you need to know. The Quad City Success Fair is Tuesday, August 16th at the Rogalski Center at St. Ambrose University. The event is scheduled from 1 to 4.